Yo.
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 Yo. We've been doing this for 1 year, and we instantly realized we also have to watch Flames hockey when they're losing.
Walker dude.
Walker dude. You should trust the Daryl Sutter process. Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Puck and Stuff podcast. I'm here with my boy T-Dog, as always, beside me. And guys, Flames talk is back. We haven't done a Flames talk since the end of last season, but now there's enough news with the Flames to actually pull a whole episode of just talking about how their offseason has gone through so far. We're going to talk about the draft, we're going to talk about potential trades and actual trades that has happened. T-Dog, how you doing today?
Buddy, I'm doing amazing. A little tired because we've just been grinding out content here, but hey, 2019 Heritage Classics shoulder patch.
Ooh, looking
Pretty
fancy.
baller, bro. Pretty baller.
Pretty
How
baller.
are you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing pretty great over here on this side. Getting a little tired since we're trying to grind out all this content for you guys. But we'll never forget, this episode is sponsored by Well. The puck was in the net. Nah, I'm just kidding. A man can dream that the puck was actually in the net, which it actually was. T-Dog, I think I'm going to give it right to you. Where do you want to start off with this mayhem of a Calgary Flames team? We have so much to talk about with this team.
I want to talk about a draft pick.
Ooh,
Samuel Honzek. I like him.
Honzek.
Okay. I really do like him. You know, big buddy guy. But you can shoot the puck. You know what's funny? So development camp, they've been one guy on Twitter was saying that the two people who have been the most outstanding out of all of them, Coronado and Honzek. And Honzek ripped a shot today, and it hit the crossbar and went up into the roof, the rafters there, and broke a light.
Oh my God, this guy's got power.
Yeah, he's got some power to shot. And he was saying in an interview how Ginla was teaching him shooting or giving him shooting advice. So that's pretty
From one
sick.
of our best goal scorers of all time. Yeah, I love to hear that our first round pick is getting advice from the GOAT himself, Iggy. So that's great to hear. But as we talk about our newest addition to the Flames, our draft pick, Samuel Honzek, in our mock drafts, we obviously both didn't have him going to us. I think mine was a little bit higher up and yours was a little bit lower. But honestly, the more I looked at this guy, I was actually kind of impressed that no one picked him up. And you even heard Craig Conroy. He was super excited that they landed right in his hand with this. So big body guy. He's about 6'4", forward, and he can skate and he's got size. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, wow, this is actually a really good pick because we need those big, young, speedy guys that this league is producing, and especially in a draft where the offensive ability out of these young guys are so high. I think this was exactly a great pick for us for what we needed. I was really mad Braden Yeager went to Pittsburgh. I thought he would drop a little bit, but I'm really still happy with the pick we got.
Yeah, I have some hopes for Honzek. Not going to try and get too excited. I just wanted to talk about it because, well, it happened and we got to discuss it. But a lot of promise there, a lot of promise, and especially since he's already catching some eyes from spectators, it's a good sign, and that's what I want to hear because that's what we need to do, fill up the prospect pool. Exactly. Yeah, he won't probably play for our team for the next 2 years, 3 years, but you just got to keep showing it, right? Exactly. I mean, who knows if he's really good, then maybe he does possibly get a spot. Maybe we sign him and he goes to the AHL all of a sudden, but. Yeah, he probably want to finish junior or whatever. So it's exciting stuff.
I think honestly, with such the good news of the draft, I think it is time to head to the bad news of Calgary right now. With
I didn't get to see Pitbull.
Yeah, me either. It was kind of sad. But I think I was trying to say with 3 Flames players on their last year of their contracts not wanting to re-sign. We looked at Noah Hannafin already. We knew he probably isn't going to get re-signed and probably traded during the trade deadline or so. We looked at Michael Backlund. There's another name that potentially would want to leave the Calgary Flames, even though we even thought about making him a captain. Then there's one more name, and it was Tyler Toffoli, but we'll get to him in a minute. And then there's all this talk with Elias Lindholm. So, T-Dog, you got 4 names in your hand. Where do you want to start?
You know what? Backlund, my buddy, we're going to make you captain. You want to leave us?
The disrespect? God damn.
No, what I see it as this. I think it seems like most of those players wanted to leave before the changes, and the changes have definitely changed things. Lindholm, I think, is a good example of that. I just want to start with Backlund because I just thought captaincy wise, I think he stays with us. He will be captain for sure. But maybe he just wants to be in a winning culture. Maybe he just wants to win now. Career's, getting up there. And he wants to actually maybe have a chance at a cup. And I don't blame him for that, But ultimately, all together, all these players wanting to leave and stuff or potential, it's getting annoying because the amount of slander I'm hearing, people are slandering the Flames. Is the org that bad? I mean, there's things that need to be fixed, but I mean, here's what it is. Because of how big of the implosion is right now, everything's going to be talked about.
Mm-hmm.
This would be the same thing if it was happening in Toronto right now, for example, or if it happened in Edmonton, or if it happened in Vancouver. It's the same thing. It's just it's Calgary's turn and a little bit of Winnipeg's turn too right now. Mm-hmm. So at least they got that good return on PLD, right? So that's the biggest thing. So Hanifin, right now he's best to trade for value, and that's what I like. I really hope we can get something for him. Hanifin not wanting to be here. I mean, I don't know where that really stems from per se, but maybe he does want to just the same thing, or maybe wants to move closer to home. Can't be too angry about it, but at least we have prospects, and we're gonna get at least we have depth in the D line, and we're gonna get Shillington back, so that will help. Elias Lindholm. I hope this happens soon. Whatever happens, the decision is made soon because I'm itching on it because I feel like a lot determines on that team. I mean, he really could be the thing that determines do we rebuild or not.
Yeah.
So I hope we do. But it's taken a long time, but you can definitely tell that his decision has changed because of the coaching changes. So that might mean I don't know how long we're waiting, but I guess we'll see. We'll just sit here and wait. What do you think, man?
Well, because I guess I'll start off with Backlund here. Like you said, we really did want to get this guy to be our captain for the future here, but it doesn't look like he's wanting to stay after his contract is up at the end of the season. So, if depending on how the Flames do, they might be wanting to get rid of him by the trade deadline. And do I want to get rid of Backlund? No. I could see why, though, he would want to leave because he is getting up in the 30s. I think it's early mid 30s now with Michael Backlund. And I can get why he wants to leave because he probably wants to win a cup. And based on how Calgary's course is going, it's not exactly looking like it. So a guy who's played his whole career here and has been loyal, I can see why he wants to leave, and he totally does deserve to leave if he really wants. He's been loyal enough to us if he wants to, but it still hurts, man. Still hurts to see. And like we even talked about with Hanifin a little bit ago, we've understood that Hanifin wasn't the defenseman that put the production that we wanted him to on this team. And I felt like the pressure might have gone to him a little bit in this city, but honestly, at the young age he has a lot of value. He's still a good defenseman on some parts, and he could be some really good trade options here for Calgary for Hanifin at least, especially depending which way you want to go with Elias Lindholm, because there's been a lot of talks with the recent, as you said, with the coaching change. He actually wants to maybe stay in Calgary again, but the biggest problem every Flames fan and everyone else is probably having with this is, if you sign him, he's going to go long-term big money. And that's already a problem in Calgary, which obviously is Kadri and Huberdeau. But then there was the other talks of, if he doesn't want to sign, he's getting traded. And now I'm looking more at that idea because last Flames talk, I said this team could be a contender still for at least 2 to 3 years. Now that instantly dropped to 1 or none, because Like I said, these veteran guys want to leave town. They don't want to play with Calgary anymore. And you risk a lot with Elias Lindholm getting signed big money long term, because there could be the decline of him. It could go so wrong in Calgary here just based off one of these moves. Craig Conver's got his hands full for sure. But I did want to mention one thing as well before I finish up what I'm discussing. Barb Burners actually mentioned a really good point when they were talking about once all these players were potentially wanting to leave. He mentioned a good point of what was the whole point of the coaching problem and the GM problem this year, because you heard from a lot of the players that the problem was Sutter. Everyone didn't like Sutter, and the GM and the ownership didn't want to get rid of Sutter, so Brad Treliving left. Then they heard it from the players, Sutter left. But now players still want to leave. That hurts to hear still, especially when you have to give up a Jack Adams winner in Sutter. So I can see why that angers them. We could have done a Nashville and just traded at the trade deadline if this was the situation. And I can see why they're mad, and that's what you want to go to. So, yeah, I just needed to get that off my chest.
Just rant, hey, for sure.
That was a good rant. Oh,
okay. I'll start with this. You can attest, correct, that I love Lindholm, right? And he's one of my favorite players on this team. I really want a Lindholm jersey. Wanted.
Wanted.
Buy it, eh?
8 years, are you going to do it?
But here's the thing: too long money, man. Like, you got they say they want young and fast and impressionable and driven. You can't be signing 8 years, 8.5. You can't do it.
No.
I'm okay with some trade value bait, but I just hope this hurries up. But you know what? Maybe time is best, because you don't want to maybe rush into it. So I do agree maybe on that sentiment, but I hope it is a trade, to be honest. I think that's the best route to go for both ends. I really do. Yeah, the problem with Calgary, like, I swear I have this conversation all the time with whoever, you know what I mean, whoever like is a Flames fan, but it's always different, like who where when did it. But yeah, you're so right. Like when Burner talked about it. So yeah, this problem has been here like for other seasons, and it just wasn't talked about. And you know, they blamed it on the coach, easy scapegoat. Like, come on, we knew that, and they still want out. So we're just not going to fix the problem. And the thing with Treliving, yeah, we should have done the Nashville, but here's the thing. Treliving, this was his last season, probably no matter what, even if it was smooth sailing and we just didn't make playoffs or whatever. That's my guess. So he's going to still try and like bank on what he did, right? So that's just how the game works, right? You got to go big, go big. Once you do it, you can't go back. But yeah, man, it's really hurting us. And it's weird that it's all just like falling apart and stuff. But you know what? We'll see if it really is the management and stuff, because we did get, you know, a new GM and a coach. So that will all change everything. But man, you just hope, because I have a feeling it's ownership problems and stuff like that. I have a feeling it's a little more in the upper management, but I could be wrong. But if it is, please sell the team, Murray Edwards.
Well, I think that's also the concerning part about being a Flames fan right now is you've obviously for the last season have heard there's so much problems in the organization, but the problem is there's so many fingers getting pointed. You don't know what's the actual problem anymore, because like you said, you did the obvious, throw the coach under the bus, throw the GM under the bus, then players still want to leave. Why is this still a problem? We've dealt with this problem once before in a coaching situation. We threw them under the bus and problem was solved. So now you do it and it doesn't work. That scares me.
This is why I knew it was the switching Sutter wasn't going to be the problem, because we've done the coaching carousel for how many years now?
A lot.
Like, there's much more to it. And I think that's why it imploded more in the media and made it a bigger thing.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there are players here who do want to play with this team, and we respect them for it, as well as players who want to work to get into a spot. Everything I've heard from Coronado, for example, as a young player, says all he wants to do is just get better so he can play for his team that drafted him. He wants to prove himself. That's who we need, driven players, man. I'm telling you, that guy will play 10 times harder than half those players who played last season, right? Yeah,
Run him Uyghur until
this
halfway
season we
through the
tried.
season.
I like Uyghur. I love Uyghur, bro.
I love Uyghur. I love. Okay,
Yeah,
so I guess since we
that's all
talked
that.
about the players that obviously are on the last years of their contract and don't want to play with us, what about we get into the conversation of one of the players that wanted to leave and he got his wish? We jump to Tyler Toffoli.
All
He
right.
has been traded to the New Jersey Devils for Sharon Govich and a 2023 third-round pick. Okay, there's a lot to take in from this because that was one of Toffoli's best years, like playing hockey. And what I'm looking at it is, I think I really do like Sharon. The more I looked at Sharon Govich, I really do like him. 25 years old, left winger. He's big and he's speedy. He's got the speed on him, and I think that's what the Flames really need is that speed factor. Because last year, I think it bothered both of you and I still. But I felt like we got finessed a little bit in the scenario of it was only a third round pick. People are probably going to be like, oh, there should have been a first or a second. And I looked at it. I'm like, okay, if Tyler Toffoli's best season as a Flame, 100% it could have been a first. But I think the reason why it was so low because Tyler Toffoli is on 1 year left on his contract. And that probably stopped a lot of obviously getting a higher draft pick.
Well, you know what's crazy is every time. Okay, you know me. I like my jerseys. I want to collect them. I always said if I get a Devils jersey, I get a Sharon Govich jersey. I always liked them, so it's kind of cool that he's on our team now. I really do love it. Best time to trade him was now. Highest value. We weren't gonna resign him for what he wanted, and that's I think fair. Um, and I do like the trade. I do think it's overblown. I think Sharon Govich could potentially, maybe even if he is playing with Huberto or whoever, he could have a good season. He hasn't had a few solid seasons. I think a lot of people are referring to the fact that when he would stop playing with Jack Hughes, that he would stop producing. So people think he might be a bit of a Jack Hughes merchant. So I mean, I guess we'll see what happens with that. But at the end of it, yeah, I really do think New Jersey did win this deal. However, it's not as bad as it could have been, and I do wish we got more, maybe a second or something. But the player that we did pick with that draft pick was pretty solid too, though. So that's something to think about as well. But you know what? I guess we'll see. I do like Sharon Govich though, so that might be the Flames jersey I get. And we signed him for 2 years, 3 mil or 3.1?
2 years, 3 mil.
2 years, 3.1. Yep. And you know what? So not the highest risk trade ever, So
yeah,
I
then
think
you can decide if you want to sign him in his prime or not, depending on how he shows himself in the next 2 years. So I think that's actually a really good contract to give him.
For sure. It just hurts right now just because you're losing your 30 or your 30 plus goal scorer, right?
Yeah.
You're losing prime and like, but I don't even know if Toffoli ever really fully liked it here, to be honest.
I mean, probably after maybe the playoff run season, sure, but I think after the crazy season we just had, maybe. But yeah, I think we actually have one more player to talk about that also decided to leave us in free agency. Lucic, he has gone back to Boston.
Bro, I was thinking of someone else too.
Oh, I know who you're thinking of.
Yeah, yeah,
we're
talking
about
next.
We're talking about Lucic first.
Yeah,
he goes back to Boston, 1 year, 1 mil. T-Dog, thoughts on
Lucic,
boy Lucic?
Can I say, man, thanks for the time. I'm gonna miss saying Lou in the building. It was great. You could tell he's excited to go back to Boston. I don't blame him, man. It's like it's where you played most of your career. You grew up, you won your cup, right? It's where your kids grew up for a good amount of their times. Like, for sure, go back. There is a clip going around. He was in an interview a few days ago, and he was not trashing. He actually said thank you to the city, and like Calgary helped to rejuvenate his love for hockey again and stuff. So that's awesome. I'm glad we could do that. But he did say like a lot of the factors for leaving is because players don't like playing here because it's cold and it's travels hard and stuff like that. And thinking like fair, but the only thing I can think of is like I feel like that's kind of a scapegoat answer, like for a bigger thing. Like that's what I feel. I feel with all these like reasons of not wanting to be here. It's scapegoat answers for a bigger thing. Because at the end of the day, we hear this about Winnipeg right now because Winnipeg's going through the rebuild. Are we hearing it about Edmonton right now? Not really, but we were when they were in the dumpster before McDavid. And the same thing with Toronto. Am I wrong? No. So there you go.
Exactly.
That's what I think. Honest to goodness, it's all scapegoat answers. But you know what? I think Lucic will enjoy playing in Boston. I don't know what he'll do. I don't know what his role will be there for say, but I'll watch it with interest. I will. And when he does come back, I'll give him a cheer, man.
Yeah.
Because I did like Lucic. You know, he did play hard, and you can tell he was a glue guy.
True, but he also had his moments where you smacked yourself in the head and questioned what you're doing with your life watching hockey and Lucic do some really dumb I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, we also
Coasting back.
oh my god.
Last one. Last one to the ice.
Yeah. I just remember the days losing my over this guy. It's bringing back cold memories, man. Damn, this team hurts me. It hurts my soul if I have one. But anyways, we got one more player that also left us because we never let him play in the NHL. Matthew Phillips follows Mitch Love to Washington. Oh, this made me so mad too. We offered him, I think, more money on a two-way, but the first year would be a two-way, then the second year would be a 1 year, like a one-way. And they said, no, he's going to Washington. So, T-Dog, what are your thoughts of us losing one of our best prospects on his best year?
Probably means he'd be guaranteed a spot there in Washington. Man, this sucks. I really wanted to see what he could do. Like, I think it's overblown that he was going to be some, like, superstar next, kind of like Johnny Gaudreau. But at the end of the day, I do hope he proves us wrong. Because it stings to me a little bit. I really wanted to root for Phillips. We only got to see him, like, what, once or twice? How many games did he play?
Two
Twice.
games.
What, 10 minutes of ice time? Like, garbage, man. Like, yeah, our org didn't treat him well enough, so he's going to go with Love. I don't blame him. I don't. I really don't. And I hope he lights it up, man. And I hope specifically when Washington comes here, he lights it up. We deserve it.
Yeah, I think he deserves that. Good luck to him in Washington. I was very disappointed to see that he had to leave us like that. But again, the organization didn't treat him as well as we hoped he would. But especially in his best season in the AHL too, that makes me livid, man.
I mean,
and that scares me more for like what we do with our prospects in the future. But hopefully, we're doing it right,
man. You know what? I just thought of this now. Like our AHL team, like the Wranglers aren't going to be as good this year.
Yeah,
all the changes, but I mean, it's for the better because then it means that we actually get to start doing things.
Exactly. And now, T-Dog, I got this one question with all the talk we just went through with players wanting to leave, players that already left. What do you see the expectation so far for what next season holds? Do you think it's time to fully rebuild? Do you think it's a little retool? Or do you think we go all in still?
I think you need a rebuild. I mean, I don't know if they're fully in yet, but they should rebuild. And I think the expectation is that you don't have much expectations because, like, in reality of this, you're just setting yourself up for failure if you really do think that you can somehow compete in the playoffs. Because you can't, man. You're going to have to verse LA. You're going to have to verse Vegas. You're going to have to verse Edmonton. That's not going to do it. At this point, Vancouver, we're in the same spot as Vancouver. Vancouver could be better with the additions that they've made. True. I'm not even joking. So that's the problem. What you need to do, get your young guys in, get them to know the system and stuff, and have fun hockey. Be like the Montreal Canadiens, what they were this year. You knew they weren't going to do anything, but man, they had a lot of fun, and the fans loved it, and they enjoyed it because it was passionate hockey. That's what we need. We just need passionate hockey. I miss that stuff, and I hope that because, Iggy and Conroy are in the organization right now who play passionately are bringing that passion all the way to the actual ice and on the on-ice production. That's what I hope. It better be a darn retool / rebuild.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, to me, it literally depends if Lindholm gets signed with us or not.
Yeah.
So that's when the day that happens might literally change the course of the Flames for the next 10 years.
I like Damn. Okay, you make a really good point with that, because if you asked me like 2 months ago if this in the same question of is it rebuild, retool, or all in time, I would probably be like, I think we're still should go and try winning something here, because it. I know last year was rocky as hell, but the team, we still have a good core of a team here that can make it work next season. Nope, everyone wants to leave. So now I am more confident in the idea of rebuilding and retooling, but everything will decide that what we do with Lidholm, because Lidholm could either sign long term here and we go through a weird mediocrity hell possibly for the next 5 to 10 years, or we make the smart decision, we don't sign him and we trade him, because you will automatically get a first round pick for a guy like Lindholm. No matter what other prospects and stuff you add to the trade, there's a first round pick that is deserved if you're
Yeah,
asking.
there's a pretty much like I would love one. I don't know what the 2024 draft will be like. It's kind of early to tell, of course, but
Yeah.
like I just think you got to play it like that. But maybe again, it is smart that they're playing kind of slow with this whole thing, because I honestly initially was like, you got to get this done now. But reading more comments and stuff, and what people are saying on, like, Flames posts and stuff, I'm starting to like be on the side now of, yeah, you do wait, just because if you rush into it, you might really mess yourself up, especially if you're gonna rush into like a signing.
I think we especially saw that during free agency, where the Flames were like one of the only teams that didn't go do something stupid at free agency. Because with Brad Tree living, we would be used to him doing something stupid day one or day two by now. But I like the idea of Craig Conroy having his patience with this of, okay, we need to figure some stuff out before we do anything stupid with our money here. So
Yeah, that's a great point. And I've been wanting to talk about this, completely forgot until you said this. The cap floor right now is pretty garbage. Most teams are over capacity of being able to even sign one single player. That's what cap crunch people are.
yeah.
Wait till next season. And plus the UFA market's not even that good. All these players that are big names are just, half of them are injured or injury prone per se. And you're gonna overpay the absolute heck out of them. No one wants to do that, right? Maybe Chicago will, right? Help Bedard out a little bit. Not a team like us, right? You can't afford that. So it's
That
probably good to just wait out and stuff. Although, I mean, we did sign Jordan Osterley, so we can probably talk about that later as well.
I mean, yeah, true. But again, I think it was the smarter decision in the idea of, obviously this team is committed to putting young guys in our roster next year, as we've been talking about a lot this offseason. And again, that just kind of told me more so that we didn't do anything during free agency and didn't try signing big yet. So I'm happy to see that Conroy's sticking to his word of adding young guys that were from the AHL and bring them up, because that's what they deserve. So, especially, I think another name that we should throw into possibly trading is Dan Vladar, because
Oh,
now
yes,
I'm committed to bringing Dustin Wolf up to the
you
NHL.
have to. Like,
100%.
it's time, man. After watching how he played in the AHL, plus that last final game, dude,
Yeah.
think of how fun the fans had. Remember watching? Did you watch the final game, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I did too. You know how much fun everyone had with that game?
Yeah.
There you go. That's what we can have if we get all the young guys playing some nice hefty not hefty just fully committed hockey, right? Passion to hockey.
I think it also
And
looks,
Ladar,
yeah,
sorry, Wolf needs to be in that, a part of that.
yeah, I think this also would look really good for the new arena when you have a guy like Dustin Wolf leading the team in goal. And then you, like, by the time we get a new arena, you could see Samuel Honzik. Yeah, Honzik. You could see Honzik and Coronado finally making that reach up to the NHL in a new spanking arena. And especially depending on how this team takes the next few years, and you could get some really good draft picks if you decide to trade some of these guys too. So it could be a really bright future going into a new arena. So that would be really nice to have for Calgary.
That is a good point, because by the time that arena, I mean, whenever, hopefully they get the shovels in the ground soon, but by the time it's finished, like, yeah, they'll be all primed up to be like full-time NHLers and actually playing. So we'll see.
Dude, a
Can we?
freaking playoff run in that arena would be nuts
Oh,
the
I
first year.
know, man. We need one more run in the dome, and then set it up, and then set up for success in the new one.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what's kind of sad too, bro?
What?
Michael Stone.
Oh.
Michael Stone retired. So,
Oh.
ladies and gentlemen, Michael Stone has retired at the age of 33. He is now a part of the Flames organization still, but now as a player in a player development role. This made me a little sad when I saw that. I saw it when it first came out in news, and it made me really sad. Let me pull up some stats of Mr. Stone here.
Dude, that made me
Um,
sad when you text. I remember you texting me saying Michael Stone retired, and I just sat there like,
it hurts.
"Oh, really?
It does
He
hurt.
was the guy that I relied on with the big clap bomb.
I know.
Oh, I loved his slap shot.
But and the
Oh,
thing too is I remember him being with the Hitmen. I remember watching him. I
yeah.
remember him specifically, but watching that team when he was on the Hitmen. Okay, so Michael Stone in his tenure played 552 NHL games. He had 41 goals, 104 assists for 145 points. He had 309 penalty minutes, so he's pretty disciplined.
Hmm.
But all I know is I'm missing. Actually, it's funny because he wasn't that bad. I think he was a great 6/7th D. Um,
Yeah.
I think he played the body well. Was good at stay at home. You know, he could defend the puck well, and he had a great clap. Honest to goodness, I don't really remember too many times where Stone was the defenseman ticking me off. I can name a few more that were ticking me off. I won't mention,
We all know who it is.
but yeah. So it's just yeah.
It's
It's a little sad. It's a little sad. You know what I mean? It's a little sad, but
Yeah, it was.
I hope it was for the best decision, and yeah, best retirement. Which is the
I
best retirement.
I was gonna say it's really sad too because like you and I, when like I think late 2010s with the Flames, Michael Stone was like a big part of that defensive core, and he's been for
Hitman.
a while. So it's really nice to hear that he's part of player development now. But happy retirement to Michael Stone. I'll always miss your slap shot going in the net. It was so nice to hear. But I mean, good for him though. Good career. Sucks he
Yeah,
couldn't
no.
win.
Yeah, well, I mean, ultimately, okay. I think we've pretty much just discussed everything that has kind of happened with the Flames. I know we've had our AHL signings and things. Any last words, man, of encouragement before we like let this go and then wait till the next Flames talk?
Well, I would like to know exactly what happens with Lidholm here. We got to make a decision before hopefully next Flames talk because I need to know if this team wants to rebuild or not. It's going to hurt me for a while if we don't figure this out, and it's still bugging me to this right now, honestly, just talking about it. But again, it's nice to hear that our prospects are growing every day, and I'm happy to hear Dustin Wolf is a potential goaltender for the future, and it gives me a little bit of hope. And honestly, if it involves tanking for 2 years, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I agree with you on all those sentiments. Dustin Wolf, Lindholm, all that fun stuff. Ultimately, you know what? I'm just keeping this whole thing up with an open mind, and whatever opening night roster cracks, uh, you know what? I'm still gonna be there supporting and watching. And hey, you know what? Maybe something good comes out of this. Gotta have a little bit of dark before you come into the light, right?
Yeah. But hey, guys, I think they'll end it for Flames Talk today. I hope you guys did enjoy this episode. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, and please subscribe. We're doing so well. We love the support you guys give. Sorry again for kind of disappearing on you guys for a week. We've been busy with life, so we went out and grinded a bunch of content. I hope you guys enjoy. And T-Dog, take her away.
Boom. Like B-Dog said, thank you guys so much for listening, watching, however you are consuming this content. If you did like it, smash the like button, leave a comment down below. Comment question of the day. What do the Flames need to do? They need to retool, rebuild. Also, what are they going to do with Lindholm? All right, guys. But all I know is you guys are awesome. I really appreciate that you guys follow our content and stuff. And hey, you know what? Fellow Flames fan to another, it's gonna be okay. Enjoy your Stampede week, all right? Enjoy your pit bull. That's what I'm saying. All right, guys. Like Narwhal said, keep on rocking in the free world and doot 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 doot. All right, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.
Peace.